Yeah, my wonderful people. Problem boku. Aka na-ekwusi ọkịkọ bụ nchi n'ọkpa ya were ọnụ jegetụrụ ya atụrụ. We never recover from what is happening. Now, we are talking about insecurity in the southeast. Hoodlums in Anambra State now don't come gather together, make a meeting. Come they tell the entire community. Say, may they not organize any burial arrangement or any burial ceremony. We go past 20 people. Otherwise, they go struck. In that hand, now our own brother, Mazi Simon Ekpa, he don't come out now. Come they accuse Governor Chukuma, Soludo Mbafu, of not doing enough to end insecurity in Anambra State. I beg make I ask you. Now Simon Ekpa, now you send these people, are they on their own? Because this news, they come in just two separate ways. But the thing arrive at the same time. But whichever way it is, I know you will not do such a thing. Not minding that this your cap. This your Ubundozo cap. I don't know who, I'm not going to you also. Iburo Egwayore. Where buy your kirikiri? Whether you don't start to practice voodooism. Are you a native doctor? Boss Simon Ekpa. Anyway, that is a story for another day. I beg, make no attack me. If you ever come to my comment section and attack me, say I talk about Simon Ekpa, I go block one of your ear. I beg, don't know me. I beg, go make you hear this wonderful headline where does the trend since yesterday evening. Now I see this news, I say no. Make a reserve one for today, will be Monday, so that when I go use one now, this one now, they step down. They cool your mind for the stress ahead, because in Nigeria, the only thing we see in Nigeria is stress upon stress. Every day in, day out. Now, so government, they use people, they do anything where they like. We go dodge Indian village. We go dodge the police, dodge army, dodge security personnel. We go dodge kidnappers. At the end of the day, you fall in the hand of the lawyers and they go finish you. Ekpa accuses Governor Soludo of not doing enough to end insecurity in Anambra State. In the other hand, we have another one. Hoodlums in Anambra State issues warning to all Anambra communities over conditions to fulfill before they can hold any barriers in their own community. This one na hoodlums, so no be IPOB or ESL, because more than now, all these Nigerian mischief makers now will come out and say, in Southeast, IPOB and this one, they don't issue warning to Anambra communities. May they not do barrier. Make on a hear them, this one na hoodlums, so. In other words, you can call them unknown government or unknown godmen. Whichever way it is. Let us go straight to the reason why we are here. Please subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. I repeat again. Don't forget to subscribe. If you come and comment and I tell you never subscribe to my channel, I will not only block one of your ear, I will block one side of your eye. Just one side and leave one side for you. Are they hear me now? Okay, so let us move. Simon Ekpa, a Biafran agitator and a separatist, has accused Governor Charles Soludo of Anambra State of not doing enough to end insecurity in the state. Ekpa, the Finland-based lawyer and Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, disclosed this on Saturday through his official Twitter handle. He faulted Soludo's claim of fighting insecurity in the state while criminals continue to wreak havoc on citizens of the state. According to Simon Ekpa, if Soludo is not complacent, I be complacent. Yo, anyway, I wanna take care of my baby, wanna take it like that, and no go school. He would long arrest the criminals terrorizing the state. Ekpa added that his quest for the Biafra referendum is slowly to end insecurity in the southeast region. You claim you are fighting crime in Anambra, but here is a man who kidnapped your commissioner for public utility, gave him an oath in the forest, collected millions from him, and since then I have been exposing this criminal. Yet Soludo is silent. He said, "We expel them from Biafra liberation because of their criminality, one of which I have explained here is kidnapping a commissioner of police." According to Mazi Simon Ekpa, he said, "We expel them from Biafra liberation because of their criminality, one of which I have explained here is kidnapping. A commissioner in your government is his victim, yet is still alive and probably leading this tweet. He urged that the elders of the Southeast must ask Soludo why he allowed a criminal who kidnapped his commissioner for public utility to be free. It is why Simon Ekpa is fighting for the freedom of Biafra. Recall that in 2021, Commissioner of Public and Utilities Emeka Ezewanne was kidnapped during the build-up to the Anambra governorship election, which was held in November same year, last 2021. Hoodlums issues warning to Anambra communities over conditions to fulfill before burial should hold in that very particular stage. Two communities, namely Iseke and Asia, both in the Hiala local government area of Anambra State, have been warned by hoodlums against holding burials of their deceased without fulfilling certain conditions. The hoodlums who are reportedly gunmen issued a warning to the two communities where activities of hoodlums said to have separatist elements are rife. Nigerians understand that the hoodlums are the weekend mandated that the community people should not conduct burials with more than 20 persons in attendance or risk attack. The two communities were told residents of the communities that security operatives will no longer be allowed in the community and that the person coming back for the burial of their deceased or relatives, friends or ancestors must be warned not to go home with security men. According to Daily Post, a source in the community disclosed that recently a family buried their mother without their relatives for fear of being attacked by the gunmen. The source said they warned that any family that dared them would be wiped out. We live in fear in this area, and many people have left the community for other areas. Only 20 persons attended the woman's burial without in-laws, friends, and associates. What it means is that if it is a large family, the person's sons and daughters will not come close. The family had to relocate to Onitsha to entertain guests because only 20 persons were allowed access to the burial place. It is terrible, and that is the condition we have found ourselves in Anambra State of today. NSCDC begs hunters to help fight insecurity in Anambra State. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Anambra State Chapter, has appealed to the Nigerian Hunters and the Forest Security Service for collaboration in the fight against criminal elements in the state. In a statement issued through the NSCDC Public Relations Officer, Okadibo Edwin, on Friday, the state commandant of the NSCDC in Anambra State, Edwin Oswala, or the NHFSS, not to be heard any credible information that could help in getting rid of criminals and other miscreants. Nigerians understand that Oswala made a call when members of the NHFSS paid a familiarization visit in his office on Thursday. The security agencies both described the hunters as very important elements in society, saying that the corps will use their expertise to strengthen the operational framework in the state. He said, as a critical stakeholder, your collaboration is vital towards providing a security-friendly environment for all Anambra residents to operate. I call on you to come forward with the relevant information that will aid security agencies in the state to succeed in ridding the state of all forms of criminalities. NSCDC remains committed to the maintenance of peace and security. We appeal to the NHFSS to partner with the corps and other relevant stakeholders in achieving better security in Anambra State. Earlier in his remarks, the Anambra State Chapter, or Commander of NHFSS, Titus Ogudu, said the association, despite waiting for the signing of the bill establishing it, has been rendering a series of auxiliary service with the country through collaboration with existing relevant security agencies to strengthen the internal security system. Ogudogwo said signing the bill into law will give the association the legal backing to chase criminals from the forest out of their land. As hunters, we are present in all the nooks and crannies of our forest, and you will agree with me that some of these social criminals, the criminals, have made the forest their place of hibernation. We are presently waiting for our bill to be signed into law to empower us to flush criminal elements out of our ungoverned spaces, which are mainly the forests, bushes, and farmlands, Ogudugbo added. He applauded the state commandant and the command for their resilience in restoring peace and normalcy in Anambra State. As we are proceeding, commotion in Anambra House of Assembly as armed men attempted to whisk away new lawmaker-elect. There was a commotion at the Anambra State House of Assembly on Thursday as 4 armed men suspected to be operatives of the Department of State Service, DSS, attempted to whisk away a member-elect for Nnewi North constituency, Onyeka Ike. Nigerian news learned that the armed men stormed the assembly complex in 3 vehicles and grabbed the member-elect after participating in the valedictory Thanksgiving Mass for the 7th Assembly. Onyeka Ike was reportedly being forced into the DSS vehicle before security personnel immediately locked the exit gate while they were trying to drive out of the assembly complex. No reason not whatsoever. Are they really the DSS or are they criminals? According to the Daily Post, the acting clerk of the assembly, Esther Aneto, and other senior staff expressed displeasure at how the DSS operatives did not inform them or the police personnel at the assembly before trying to whisk the lawmaker-elect away. One of the DSS operatives, however, explained that they had a court order to arrest Onyeka Ike. Ike was later released after the Speaker, Uche Okafor, and the Deputy Governor, Onyeka Ibezim, who came to represent the governor at the valedictory session of the 7th Assembly, intervened in the issue. PDP chairman denied saying Obi rigged election in Anambra State. Meanwhile, the chairman of the People's Democratic Party PDP in Anambra State chapter, Chief Ndubuisi Nwobu, has condemned claims that he accused the Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi of rigging the February 25th presidential election in Anambra State. Nwobu asserted that his statement was distorted to distract public attention. In a statement delivered via the Deputy Director of Media and the Publicity of the Atiku Okowa Presidential Campaign Committee, Uloka Chibuike, Nwobu insisted that the petition filed by his party at the tribunal was against all Progressive Congress, APC, and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, not the Labour Party or Peter Obi. The statement denounced publications and referred to it as deliberate attempt by a few innuendos to discredit and blackmail Chief Nwodu. As we are proceeding forward, Atiku's ally Chidoka proffers solution on how to cushion effect of subsidy removal. They are feeding large on the subsidy removal, and yet the poor masses are dying on daily basis of hunger and no food to chop. An ally of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Osita Chidoka, has told President Bola Tinubu what to do immediately ameliorate the effects of fuel subsidy. According to him, the president should make moves to remove bank charges and reduce the monthly contributions to pension schemes by workers to ameliorate the biting effect of the removal of fuel subsidy on the masses. Nigerian report that Chidoka, who is a former Minister of Aviation, made a submission on Channels Television Sunday's Politics while discussing the issue of subsidy removal. Chidoka submitted that we need to think beyond politics when Tinubu, took a decision to remove subsidy and remove fuel subsidy and the fuel prices rose by 100% and something naira to 500 and something naira in a day. What's the immediate measure that can be taken to make sure there is more cash in the pockets of people who go to work every day? He queried. If I was thinking with him, I would have said immediately, remove the charges for bank transfers in Nigeria. The 26 naira and 56 naira cut is immediately. That money goes to the banks and they are just enriching themselves. Or make a flat rate once a month. You can charge 100 naira for IT, information technology support, so that puts more money in the hands of people. Second one is that our pension scheme has accumulated a lot of money, and that pension scheme now requires people to pay 12% of their salaries from the employer's side. So I think you can reduce the amount the people are contributing for a 1 year period or 6 months to allow more money in their pockets. That way, immediately from the next month's salary, another 10,000 naira or 5,000 naira, as the case may be, enters into the pockets of the people who goes to work every day. They are able to pay their transport fares because they need to go to work tomorrow. We can't wait till when you take a decision on ministerial appointments to ameliorate the sufferings people are going through on these days. Speaking further, the former aviation minister pointed out that the minimum wage needs to be reviewed upward to reflect the current economic hardship in the country. He noted that even though the Tinubu government removed subsidy in its 1 day in office, the administration inherited a $3 billion debt to be paid to fuel importers. He added that the past is already facing him, Tinubu, because there's about $3 billion owed to the fuel importers. The 4 major companies importing fuel in Nigeria has a debt of over $3 billion, and they haven't been given enough crude to pay for those debts. So Tinubu has to pay the backing of those debts. According to Osita Chidoka, you can't blame him for showing his frustration. Wike's ex-spokesperson Obuzo mocks Atiku. The former spokesperson for the immediate past governor of Rivers State, Marshal Obuzo, has mocked the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Atiku Wazirin Adamawa Abubakar. According to Obuzo, he submitted that Atiku cannot be blamed for venting his frustration on his former principal, Nyesom Wike, because he has been contesting for the seat of the presidency for about 30 years and has lost his brightest chance in the last election due to arrogance. Simply the truth. Wike's former aide was reacting against the backdrop of message issued by Atiku's aide last week, claiming that Wike was not poisoned but sick from his alcoholism lifestyle. Recall that Atiku, through his special assistant on public communication, Frank Shuaibu, had alleged that Wike, who recently thanked God for surviving a poisoning incident, was not poisoned as he claimed, but was sick owing to the intake of excess alcohol. However, Nigerian news gathered that Obuzo, in his reaction to the statement, said the former vice president was taking the frustration of his 30 years of failed presidential bid too far, and the level that he has sunk politically, even Atiku will look Atiku in the mirror and pity Atiku for throwing away his brightest chance of ever becoming Nigeria's president on the altar of political arrogance. Simple the truth. This is the one time once what they call him Tinubu is contesting and he won or he rigged. But that is supposed to be the position of Atiku Abubakar. But due to his arrogance, Tinubu Nyesom Wike would have used all the whole resources or revenue of Rivers State to make sure that they won that election. But he refused to abide by the rules of the people who are supposed to carry him along. Wike's former spokesperson, in a statement issued and cited by Sahara reporters on Sunday, said, stumbled on an article in which the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Atiku Abubakar, through his special assistant on public communication, Frank Shuaibu, made a purely attempt to rubbish the Thanksgiving service by former governor of the state, Nyesom Wike. His argument was that Wike, who was thanking God for surviving a poisoning incident, was not poisoned as he claimed, but was sick owing to intake of alcohol. The statement is the ultimate display of a childishness and reflects a hollow mind, burdened, blinded, and driven by the pain and confusion of defeat. If not, how or why should what a former governor says in his place of worship between him and his God be of concern to Atiku and his heirs? Atiku's statement should not come from any religious consensus persons, as it is not only an insult to the church, but to the idea of thanksgiving, which is also held highly in Islam. However, even if Atiku does not have the religious piety to guide his tongue, his appreciation of medical science and common sense should have been an adequate guide for him. He ignored the obvious fact that the poison verdict was from a medical diagnosis. It was also beside basic reasoning for him not to factor in the stated system and nature of recovery to reach his verdict. It is worth mentioning that while Ambassador Damagun led National Working Committee of the PDP was at the Thanksgiving event, taking steps towards reconciling the party members, Atiku seemed frustrated by the prospect of peace and forcibly moved in the opposite direction. If any unprovoked Atiku could say this much about the most significant reconciliation events in PDP, one can only imagine the kind of advice the self-acclaimed unifier gives the new working committee privately. At the end of the day, one cannot totally blame Atiku for showing this level